Hey everybody, welcome to the Stock Car Spectacle. I'm Ian Jordan,
Tom Hoblin.
and we have been off for a few weeks. We have been very busy. We've been dealing with technical difficulties with our program that we record off of, so it's just been a whole nightmare, but we are back and we are ready to
We're
talk
back.
racing.
Life gets in the way sometimes, but we still haven't missed the race. We still are in tune to what's going on. Uh, just haven't been sharing recently with
Yeah,
everything, but we're back and ready to be here. It's awesome.
we're back and ready, and let's start off with our diecast of the week. Tom, what'd you bring for us today,
Oh,
buddy?
I think way back when I brought up that I was looking to get my street race win signed, and I did at Chicagoland, but you had to spend a certain amount of money to get Shane's autograph, so I figured a diecast cost a little bit more than that. So I got a second street race win, and he also signed it. So it was cool, a little 2-for-1 action there. So that's pretty neat there. Met Shane. It's real nice for the 30 seconds I interacted with him, but you know how that all goes.
Yeah, very cool, man. Glad you got to get those two signed and some pretty sweet diecasts too. Alright, so for my diecast of the week, it is an off weekend for NASCAR, so I thought I'd just play something random. So I'm playing one of my favorite diecasts of all time, Dale Earnhardt's Tasmanian Devil Good Wrench car. I've had this in my collection since I was a little kid. This is one of the first diecasts that my dad gave me, and I just hold this near and dear to my heart. This is one of my holy grails right here.
Nice. Yeah, some of those diecasts are so special. The ones we grew up playing with and whatnot, and it's cool that you still have it. Like my dad kept my box of cars that I just bashed together. A lot of these over here are just cars that I bashed together for the longest time when I was a kid, and I was so happy that he hung on to those, and I still had the box. It was like the first few diecasts I was playing when I first came on the show. So those ones for sure, especially like I have an old Joe Nemechek like 33 car. That's like who remembers where that was or where that ran, but I had it. And it
Yeah,
was it was the star of some of my races when I was a kid.
that's awesome. All right, so some big news that came out in the past few weeks. We heard that Alex Bowman is announcing that he will be retiring at the end of the 2027 season. So he's got one more full time season left with Hendrick Motorsports. He said it has nothing to do with his health, the previous concussions that he's been dealing with, and all that. He said he's always had a plan to retire before the age of 35, just so he can go out and enjoy his life. So that's huge news. Because that just leaves open who's going to be in this 48 car for the future.
For sure, and he can say that it's not because of his health all he wants. Um, but if the writing was on the wall at Hendrick and they said, "Hey, we want to go in a different direction with you, but your partners like you, we really like you." He's been a great teammate. He's an awesome number 4 driver. But the question is, where, and Denny posed this on his podcast: where do you go after Hendrick? Nothing is going to be as good. Nothing is going to be as good. So I think they're just coming together. His health is a concern to Hendrick. If we can take him at his word and say if he wants to get out of the car by 35, that's what he wants to do. So it seemed like a good move for all involved. And it sounds like they're lining up a pretty special talent after next year. And the timing was going to run out with his contract as well.
Yeah, I mean they have a couple superstars to pick from. We know Corey Day, he's running in the O'Reilly program for Hendrick Motorsports. They're eyeballing Connor Zilic. I think every team is eyeballing Connor Zilic at this point to try and give him a
Mhm.
better ride than what he's been dealing with this whole season because he's been going through it with all the bad luck and just slow race cars, and it's just been an issue. So it's either going to be one of those two guys, and I really see it going towards Connor Zilic's way, just because he's that young, amazing talent that everyone's been looking forward to.
Sure, and with Connor's case, he still has a year on the contract with Trackhouse, so them they could have said, "Sorry, Alex, see you later. We're going to go with Corey Day for 2027." But the fact that they're re-signing Bowman for a 1-year deal to then bridge that gap and to line up with the end of Zillage contract, like that's what makes the most sense to me. They would go with Connor because Hendrick likes to hang on to drivers for a while, and the generational talent seemed to find their way to Hendrick. And Connor Zilic is somebody you can really curate and then see in that 48 car for the next 20 years and really build a big brand off of that. So I think Connor is the way better move. Corey Day, yeah, they put a lot of money into him. Guess what? They put a lot of money in people that never see the light of day. So kind of sucks it's not going to work out for him, but maybe he can go to Trackhouse and kind of be a backup reserve sort of deal for Hendrick. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see where the road will take those two, but definitely some big developing news that we'll just keep an eye on for probably the next year or so until we get a driver announcement. And then also dealing with the number 48, Jimmy Johnson announced that the 2027 Daytona 500 will be his final NASCAR Cup Series race, and Hendrick Motorsports is giving him a gift of running the number 48 one more time with his team in Legacy Motor Club. So that's really, really cool of Hendrick Motorsports to do that for him one more time in his number. Again, and now where does this leave Alex Bowman? What number is he going to be driving in the Daytona 500?
I have so many thoughts on this. Like, first of all, typical Alex Bowman fashion to just kind of get the short end of the stick everywhere he's going. And he's like, I've built this brand 48, and I don't get to drive it at the Daytona 500, even though I'm doing the full seat. It's like right after they announced this deal with him too. But also, like, I just think of the logistics of all this. Obviously, it's going to be a Toyota, right? Like the 48 Toyota in the Hendrick font, which is going to be weird. Are they going to get Lowe's back? You kind of, I think you have to get Lowe's back for one race.
That'd be cool.
And, but like, I don't know. And then, like, how does the points work? What we heard the logistics of getting Denny that 18 flag after he tied Kyle Busch and wins, and how they can't sell it because there's too many different trademarks. Can you imagine the T-shirts that may not ever be able to be sold because this weird 48 Carvana Lowe's Toyota with the Hendrick branding and the Legacy brand? Like, I don't know. I'm getting way too in the weeds, but I'm just so curious how they figure all this out, and I'll be excited to hear all that, how they figure it out.
I feel like if they knew that it was super difficult to get into it with making merchandise and all that, they would have just said screw it and just had him just run the 84. I mean,
because you got to have merch, and you can't run the 84 because that's going to be a chartered entry.
Exactly.
So it's just interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think they might have something in the books because they wouldn't have done this without some kind of permission for merchandise and die casts and all that. Because there's no way in hell they're gonna go into this and there's gonna be no Jimmy Johnson final race merchandise.
What are the odds that, you see, like, you look at the Chili Bowl, for example, there's hundreds of entries. You can't have the same, you have a bunch of the same car numbers. What happens if they just, for their one race, it's a one-off, you have a 7-time champion making his final start, he's already in the Hall of Fame. What if you just make Bowman run the 48A for the race, and they can both be in 48s? Nobody will care. Nobody will be, I don't think even the fans will be confused. They'll talk about it a ton on the TV broadcast, like, they're not the same car, they're not the same team. It's just this guy in our history is really special. I can't see a world where Bowman's not in the 48 for his final season as well. I mean, that's the Daytona 500. It's important.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? But I mean, honestly, the 48 is just so much more important to Jimmy Johnson and it is Alex Bowman. I can see Bowman just being like, yeah, whatever, dude. Like, this is your number. Take it. So I don't know. They'll just give him like the 25 or something.
Yeah, I want Bowman to pick a random ass number. Remember the 00? Like,
Yeah.
let's get a 00 going out of there again.
Bring back the legend of Quinn Houff.
Yeah, exactly. It's curious, but I'm sure we'll hear plenty about it. So
yeah, no doubt. And then also in the news with Legacy Motor Club, it was just announced that they have a new strategic ownership group. Tom, you brought this up before we started recording here.
yeah, I was just kind of looking over headlines and seeing what they got over here, but it's just a curious group of people. Because we heard the Guy Fieri news a couple weeks ago or a couple days ago, and I was like, oh, that's weird. He got invested in there, but like some of these names, Bryce Harper is a Legacy Motor Club owner. Kelly Slater, 11-time world champion of something. Andy Roddick, a tennis U.S. Open champion, former world number one. Darius Rucker, 3-time Grammy Award winner. There's Guy Fieri. Sam Byrne is the co-founder and co-chairman of Cross Harbor Capital Partners, so that's where their money's coming from. Scott Dixon famously gets in trouble for, well, not in trouble, but starts a beef with NASCAR saying it's boring and it's good for a nap. Well, guess what? You're a NASCAR owner now, Scott Dixon. Dario Franchitti, we know he's got a good relationship with Jimmy Johnson. Tony Kanaan, great relationship with IndyCar. I have a Tony Kanaan signed milk bottle
Hell
from
yeah.
the Indy 500 that was given to me by somebody at work, which is awesome. They said, "You like racing? Do you know this guy?" And I was like, "Yes, I do. Thank you."
That's
And
sick.
then Chase Utley, World Series champ, like it's all over the place. It does. Are they struggling for money? Or are they truly trying to build this brand?
Honestly, with all these big names, like yeah, they're bringing in the money, but I think they're also going to get their name out there. They could be on levels of popularity of NASCAR that we haven't seen since like the
Yeah,
mid 2000s when like Dale Jr. was on MTV and shit like that. I mean, look at where, it has nothing to do with legacy, but look at where Carson Hocevar is right now. He's going on dates with like giant TikTok celebrities. I don't know who the hell he's been with, but like he's
yeah.
going to
I don't know who this
the
girl is, but did you see that video? We're pivoting for a second here. Did you see
mm,
the video that NASCAR posted on their main channel? And they're just good buds. They like lingered on a handshake. It's like that is a budding new relationship. That is more than just like, oh, I brought my friend to the racetrack 3 weeks in a row. Like, come on now.
right. But
And it kind of sucks that they're going up in the middle of everything. But this is interesting. I'm curious to see where they go with this.
yeah, I really do think that NASCAR is getting back into the spotlight once again, and we're just getting
Mm-hmm.
all these huge names. I mean, we're getting World Series champions, IndyCar champions, like the guys who have the biggest shows on the Food Network, golfers, tennis players,
Yeah,
and like billionaires. It's insane what's going on with Legacy and
which
NASCAR right now. It's insane.
which when Jimmy took over the team and rebranded, this was seemed to be. He said, "We want to make more than just a race team. We want to start this legacy and whatnot. To change the name and whatnot." Everybody kind of rolled their eyes, like, "Oh, okay, whatever." But I mean, I'm just curious what this means for other sports and other racing series. I mean, you have two IndyCar champions in here. Does Legacy start fielding IndyCars? I mean, this speculation. This obviously doesn't indicate anything in this press release, but like, there's two baseball players. Who knew Bryce Harper and Chase Utley were interested in racing in that sense? But those guys are signing $100 million contracts. They got money to throw around. Is that why you're going after them?
Yeah, and I mean we've seen the rise that Legacy Motor Club's already had this season. Look how great Eric Jones and John Hart Nemechek they've been running, just except for Nemechek crashing. But I mean
Well,
they've had so much speed this year, and just adding this amount of power and money into your leadership program, it's undoubtedly
and
going to make them probably the number two Toyota team. I mean, look out 2311.
well, I don't know if I'm going that far. Michael Jordan is probably worth more than all these people combined, and he likes to win, so he's going to
Yeah.
keep dumping money into that. I'm just curious if this turns into more of a rival of the Fenway Sports Group. Does this investment group start going after? Oh, we're going to own part of, I don't know, the Tampa Bay Rays or something like maybe they go after stuff like that. The White Sox, everybody's telling them to sell the White Sox. Maybe they grab onto the White Sox and become the Legacy Sox or something. But like, I'm thinking, because like LeBron James is an investor in the Fenway Sports Group.
hmm
That makes LeBron James technically a part owner of RFK. Nobody ever talks about that because LeBron's not involved with the racing product. He just has a lot of money that he said, "Yeah, I'll buy into this. Why not? I could get something back from it." So I wonder how involved, like the racing guys, like Kanan, Franchitti, they may be more involved in actual business of the motorsports. But like, what is Guy Fieri going to do other than show up and not eat at the hauler
yeah.
every once in a while? Or like, what is Bryce Harper is still a really good baseball player. He doesn't care. He's just trying to turn some of his money around and see if he can make some back. It's a curious thing, and I'm interested to see where they go with it.
Yeah, should be interesting future for Legacy Motor Club. I'm interested to see where this will take them. All right. Well, how about we talk about Indy from this past weekend? Trucks were at IRP, and the O'Reilly and the Cup Series we're at Indianapolis Motor Speedway at the big track. And at IRP, we had some big winners from this past weekend. Lane Riggs, I mean, he swept the stages. That dude collected so many points throughout this race. But then I want to talk about Connor Mozak. We have seen that he's been struggling so much every time he steps into one of these trucks or cars or whatever. And he came out here and got a second place finish. He looked really, really good throughout this entire race.
For sure, and the second most points gathered on the day and whatnot. And he's back in the points. I don't think it's going to change his chase aspirations, but we've seen him have good success on road courses, and he's not really figured out the ovals too much. But great day for Connor Mozak, but better day for the points leader Lane Riggs, who's now
Yeah,
100 points,
he
100 points ahead.
he's just running away with it now, and we thought that it was going to be like a battle of like the two big guys with Caden Honeycutt and Lane Riggs, and Lane Riggs, he's just running away, and Caden Honeycutt, he is falling.
For sure. And that front row motorsports, Chandler Smith runs third in both stages, finishes fourth here, and then they come out in the off week and say, we're going to go a different direction with the 38 truck next year, and Chandler Smith isn't going to be racing with us. So
Yeah,
he hasn't been lighting the world on fire like Lane Riggs has, but I think somebody online said that he's a journeyman. He kind of just goes where his money will work anywhere. So
yeah, that is
they'd
one thing
see
we
to get a
forgot
better
to.
spot and buy into a ride. But yeah, no, we tie it in here.
Yeah,
It's just interesting because he was building a brand. He's been with this team for 2 years, but maybe he didn't. Maybe he sees the writing on the wall with the Ford pipeline. It's like, oh, there's not really much going on above this. I got to change my tune.
I'm hearing rumors that he's possibly moving over to RCR next season. We know that
Mm,
they're going to have the two O'Reilly cars open, with Austin Hill most likely going to be running full time in Cup in the 33, and we know Jesse Love's going to be moving to Wood Brothers,
man,
so that would be a good move right there for Chandler Smith.
yeah, that's a good step in the next direction. But I mean, we see it with Carson Hocevar, now Corey Heim. The path is trucks to Cup.
Mm-hmm.
I think some of these guys are wasting their time in the O'Reilly series. You have Corey Heim coming off the his record-breaking trucks season. He runs part-time in Cup. He's winning twice. Meanwhile, you have Connor Zilic has a really maybe it's not record-breaking O'Reilly season. He comes into Cup and he's struggling. He's behind Corey Heim in the points. Who's Corey Heim, who's run 8 races.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting to see the different paths. And Lane Riggs gets out of the truck on after he wins, and he says, "I'm looking to race on Sundays." So and maybe there's some truth to that. Maybe he's trying to finalize a deal somewhere. But the path right now seems to be trucks to Cup, just with how these vehicles drive.
Yeah, and we've seen it translate perfectly. Like you said, Corey Heim becoming a truck champion, and now he's already got 2 wins in his Cup career, and he's not even full time yet. So yeah, that would honestly be the way to go. But Chandler Smith, I don't know, he's just a guy I don't see becoming a Cup Series driver. I just see him being in the O'Reilly series and the Truck
Look
series.
look at Justin Allgaier. I mean, he has found a great home at Junior Motorsports. I'm sure he makes a damn good living running first, 250 points ahead in the O'Reilly series. Chandler Smith could be that guy at RCR. We thought Austin Hill was going to be that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Austin Hill fit the O'Reilly series, fit the RCR brand kind of perfectly. I'm just thinking as you're reading some of those rumors off, and it's like, what a shame that Dale Earnhardt gets replaced by Kevin Harvick, and then we get Kyle Busch replaced by Austin Hill. Oof.
Yeah, it's not
What a
really a good
what a
send off for
shame.
that car. Yeah, it's a
So
real shame, but I mean, not everyone can be a Kevin Harvick, and it's just
no,
an
for sure.
unfortunate position that they were in. And
And
like we were saying,
the systems are so different.
Austin Hill's been in the O'Reilly series for half a decade now. I'm not even sure, and barely had any experience in a really good Cup car. And like we said, it doesn't translate well from O'Reilly to
Yeah.
Cup, so he's just kind of like a fish out of water right now, especially
Hmm.
put in the situation that he has been in for the past few months.
Yeah, he's overburdened. I mean, he's
Hmm.
saying he's barely getting any time with his family too. Like, you got to feel for him. But obviously, he's still running for the championship in O'Reilly, and he's got obviously got to do that. That's his contract and whatnot. And he's also got to be put in the Cup car. Um, it is a tough situation for him. It's just, I don't know. There's got to be something different for whatever that 8 car turns into next year if it stays at 33. Um, but there's not really much out there right now.
Yeah.
People are kind of signed up for the long haul.
All I can say is Austin Hill can count his days with being in that car because Brexton Bush, he's getting older and he's winning a lot more races now too. So
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna take some time before Brexton's ready to jump in the Cup cars, but
yeah.
yeah, some of the posts and stuff, like Brexton just posted a YouTube video titled "For My Dad," and that was it was like his first race win after his dad died, and then all of Samantha Bush's posts on Instagram are just so heartbreaking, and like we feel the pain of Kyle's absence. Obviously, we're still talking about it months later, but like she lives it every single day and has to wake up in the bed alone and show up for her kids. And I can't stop thinking about
Yeah.
that family and how they're persevering and moving on. So,
A lot of strength with that family. It's unbelievable. Like, Brexton's still racing. He didn't have to. Samantha's still
yeah.
posting on social media and
Mhm.
like, and they got a lot of support too, which is
Yeah.
the
And
most beautiful
I
thing.
like that she's not being shy about it. She's her most recent one, I think, was I'm done pretending to be okay because I'm not okay and I'm not going to be okay for a long time. And that's so vulnerable. I know we've gone off the rails here again, but
Eh,
that's so vulnerable for her to do that, and she has every right to shut down and just go worry about her family and not share with us. But I think it's a good outlet for her as well.
yeah, definitely. From what we've seen, Samantha Bush has always been a very open person with their life and just always showing
Mhm.
everything that they do. And so it's still good to see that that this hasn't changed who she is and she's still showing like, life after Kyle and like,
I
how beautiful life can still be.
I watched the Brexton Bush video on Kyle's YouTube channel, and I do appreciate that Brexton is leaning into this and he still wants to do it, and you can see it with him. But B, whoever it is out there, I don't recognize the people. I don't know who they are. I think they're wearing KBM shirts. They've probably been with Kyle, working with Kyle for a long time. They're not babying him through this. He'll come off the track after a bad run, and they'll be like, you can't make this excuse. You can't make this excuse. You can't make this excuse about the car. It's the driver, and they're saying if you pushed it on the first 2 laps, you would have been up to this position instead of, but you kind of laid around for 2 laps. There's short races and whatnot, and they're giving him praise when he does good stuff, but they are still coaching him, and they're not treating him as a fragile little boy. They're treating him as a driver and as he would be treated. Which, again, if that's what he wants, and if he truly wants to grow, that's the kind of tough love he's going to need to go be a part of this world.
Yeah.
And so again, good for him to have something to focus on, and something to honor his dad with. And I think not only is he making his dad proud, but those people working on his car and building his car and still coaching him are making Kyle proud as well. Saying, "Hey, don't let him off easy." Kyle would say that. Be like, "What would Kyle do? What would Dad say here?"
Yeah.
Um, and not letting him off easy with all that.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, Kyle would not have babied him throughout this whole thing. He would have given him tough
No.
love, and he would have been straightforward with him. And I think that's what Brexton wants because that's what made him a better driver. Because we saw like the constant videos of when they were at the short track
Mm.
together. Kyle was
We've seen
serious
it.
with him. Kyle was
Hmm.
like, "Hey, like don't do this. You're gonna wreck your shit." Like he was very
And
serious
and
with him.
and even when he was too young, he'd be in like those micro carts And he'd
Yeah.
come back, and he'd be like, "What are you doing? That's terrible. You can't drive like that." It's like, whoa, dude, he's like 5 years old. Give him a second.
But
So, but
Kyle,
now
he knows what
he's
makes a
throwing
good
into a young
driver.
man.
Yeah.
I
And
mean, I mean, Brexton was on the same track in a I forget what a quarter midget, I think, with Kyle Larson. Like, he's out there turning the same lap times on dirt with Kyle Larson. Like, he is getting into that world. We forget that some of these 12, 13 year olds, 10, 12, 13 year olds get into the Chili Bowl and go do good stuff. Go run the snowball derby and win it
yeah.
at young ages and whatnot. That's where Eric Jones got spotted so young. So, like, this is a real business, and life's moving fast for Brexton. But he's out there and earning his stripes
Yeah.
and getting
So
the seat time.
one of my favorite things from just seeing Brexton race so much is you see so many mannerisms from Kyle built into Brexton. Like when they're interviewing Brexton, you can just kind of see like that annoyed look in his face that Kyle would always give, and just kind of like the eye roll and like the glare. I'm like, dude, that's Kyle, man. It's just crazy to
Yeah,
watch.
for sure, for sure. And they're media training him too. Every video ends like, "I'd like to thank Surf Pro and Starkist and my mom and KBM and Toyota and blah blah." Blah. It's like, okay, all right. They're getting him ready for every aspect of life. Kyle talks about how he grew up in front of the media, or he became a man in front of the media from 18 to age 40. Braxton Bush is growing up his entire life
Yeah.
in front of this racing community, and that's what's going to suck, is the pressure is going to be on wearing that Bush name and and growing up with the silver spoon of racing in his mouth, so to speak. The scrutiny is going to be much higher for him, and we have to remember that he is his own driver, and it may not work out for him. We see a lot of people where it doesn't work out for him.
Yeah.
For the sons of racing, but
We shall see. All right, well, getting back into the Truck Series race, Nick Sanchez, he got a fifth place finish. We know that he's had a rough season with not having a full time ride. He's been running part time in the O'Reilly and the Truck Series, so good to see him get a nice fifth place finish with Spire Motorsports. And then how about Gavin Bushell making his first Truck Series start, and he gets an eighth place finish with Tricon Motorsports over here. That's pretty damn cool. Great start, and this might be the start of something beautiful for this kid with Tricon.
for sure, you do what you do, and he's through the stages. He's slowly progressing upwards in the ranking and finishes in the top 10 at a short track, rough and tumble. So, really, really good showing for Gavin.
Yeah. And some big losers. Daniel Hemrick was having a pretty decent race before he got wrecked by Cole Butcher. And we know Daniel Hemrick, he needed a good day. It's been a pretty mediocre season so far with that 19 truck.
Yeah, he's hanging on to the ninth spot in the chase out of 10, and going in the wrong direction there. That's not the race he needed. I don't know where this Cole Butcher guy came from, but I feel like he's wrecking every single week. And like Michael Waltrip's just glazing over. I remember him be like, this kid's had a really good season. He's really fast every single week. I was like, no, he's not. He's in the wall every week. He may be fast, but he's out of control. Like, I don't understand why we can't call a spade a spade. Like, nobody on the broadcast has anything to say about Chris Wright every time he screws up.
well,
And it's like Cole Butcher is crashing every week. I don't get it. I
that's what
don't
the
get it.
Fox crew loves to do. They love to glaze people that are just idiots on the track. I mean, look at how much they glazed Carson Hocevar for years while he was just constantly wrecking.
Yeah, this kid's got talent. He's a little bit of a loose cannon, but trust me, he's good. It's like, say, like, that's a stupid move. Don't do
Yeah.
that. Call him out.
Yeah, say it how it is.
So,
And then a guy that I was Ty Majeski, I mean, I wouldn't call him a big loser because he got a third place finish, but he was really just nowhere to be found till about the last quarter of the race here when he started making some moves, but really just could not catch the other cars. And I thought Ty Majeski would be the guy to win this race with just how much of a short track king he is.
yeah, you expect him to be more of a factor in this, but he just didn't have what it takes. But he's still, I think, Ty Majeski, and he's a champion. Like, he knows that his truck's not going to give him what it is, and he's going to go make the most of it. So for him to come out of this race with the fourth most points out of anybody, that just shows that veteran experience, that champion experience. And he's like, he can't, he's, if you over push it, you can end up in the wall and end up with the least points in the race. So I'd say it's still a good showing. It's not what you'd expect from him, but that's kind of what you got to do if you don't have the truck that's going to go win.
Yeah, I mean, Lane Riggs, he's just good everywhere we go. I mean, super speedways, intermediate tracks, road courses, short tracks. This guy,
Mm-hmm.
he's amazing at what he's doing right now
Yeah.
this season.
And like I said, if the trucks translate to Cup like we think they do, and like the history has shown us, why wouldn't he be ready? Why wouldn't he be going to his bosses and being like, "Hey, I think I could take your shitty Cup cars and run 20th instead of 30th," and seeing what they say to that.
Yeah.
So why not?
Why not? All right, well, let's get into the O'Reilly race from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And our big winners, of course, Carson Kvapil. We got to see him capture his first O'Reilly Series win. That was really cool. I got to be there in person at Indy this year and got to see him win it and got to see Rodney Childers climb the fence. That was really damn cool. Just congrats to the whole one team. I mean, we got to see the emotion with Dale Jr. after this race, saying like, this guy is like a son to me. He had him in the late model program for years and brought him up, and we've seen Carson struggle. It's been a hard year and a half or so that he's been in this O'Reilly program, and he finally got to go to Victory Lane, and it was at one of NASCAR's biggest tracks that we go to, so he got to kiss the bricks along with that too.
One of the things I like most about Dale Jr. is that he's trying, even as the business of NASCAR has changed so much, he's trying to fight for the racers out there. And we say the little guy, like this is another, you could consider a Nepo baby coming from another NASCAR name, but like he doesn't have the full funding, but he's still fighting. He says, this guy is going to be a winner. I promise you, just give him a chance to figure it out. He couldn't even get him a full season this year, but now he can go to sponsors and say, hey, this guy won at one of those prestigious tracks in the world. Let's get him a seat for the full time. And so maybe Carson will be full time next year. But like we see it with Josh Berry. He says, this guy's a racer. Nobody knows his name yet, but I know him. And he's a racer. And Junior has the platform where he can advocate it and push for Josh to get to the Cup Series, which is no easy feat for someone like Josh. And so for Junior to be that emotional, you can tell he also just really cares about his drivers and wanting all of them to have success. And as for Carson, quietly is having an incredible season, running in two separate cars for two separate race teams. He's sitting second in points. And if Justin Allgaier isn't having a complete, like, astronomically successful season, why wouldn't he be the points leader right now? I mean, other than Justin Allgaier being 300 points ahead.
Yeah.
But like that's an outlier. Everybody else is sitting right in the 700s. Justin Allgaier has 1,000 points already. But like, yeah, Carson is the one. He's the man. And we have Raja Karuth, who's in the same boat, and he's just not being as successful with the 32 and the 88 car. So it's just interesting to kind of see those two doing this together. And Carson Kvapil's out there getting wins and just being really consistent, even when he's not in the main team's car.
Yeah, I mean, it's working out well for him, and now that he is one, I think that this has really opened the floodgates, and we're going to see this kid in Victory Lane way more often, and he could put a dent into this points lead that Justin Allgaier's got right now before the beginning of the chase.
I think personally he should save it. What do you got to prove?
Yeah.
Just go run laps right now, and then go start opening your floodgates when you're in the chase, because there's no point in trying to make up a 265 point gap. But when it's a 25 point gap, he can go back and fight that again.
Yeah, very true.
If the scaling is the same for O'Reilly as it is for Cup, Justin Allgaier is going to lose about 160 points in the reset, and he's only going to be 25 points ahead of second place. And I think that's Carson obviously has shown that he's able to climb the leaderboard and stay up there and be consistent to make a run for this championship. And then everybody will tell us, "Oh, Justin had the best season. He was 1,000 points before everybody had 800, and these championships not fair."
Yeah.
But because NASCAR fans are never happy. But why not?
Never ever happy. All right, and then William Sawalich, he's another guy that we've seen just struggle in these O'Reilly cars. He came out and got a top 5 at the Brickyard. Pretty impressive to do that at one of NASCAR's toughest tracks, especially in this car.
For sure. And these Joe Gibbs cars need performance. William Sawalich is on the outside looking in as we're winding down the season. And two of the Joe Gibbs, even if he gets in, he's going to probably knock out one of the Joe Gibbs cars. Surprisingly, Brandon Jones is sitting okay, but this is just not the Joe Gibbs racing of old we'd seen in the O'Reilly series.
Yeah,
and it's because you got a lot of young pay drivers in there. You don't have the talented guys like you used to have.
Yeah, right. They only got 3 wins as an organization this year, so I mean, yeah, it has been an off season for Joe Gibbs Racing in the O'Reilly series.
And if you didn't have some weird beef with Corey Heim, you could have Corey Heim coming in and winning all these races. But because Corey Heim maybe disrespected Ty Gibbs once,
it's all it takes, man. That's how you get blacklisted.
Yeah, well, they're just it's the theme, kind of the opposite of Junior Motorsports. Joe Gibbs Racing is not trying to save a seat for somebody they believe in. They're just taking the money.
Yep.
And they just re-signed Taylor Gray. I mean, Brent Cruz might be that somebody you believe in, but I'm sure he's always also got the funding. I mean, he's running the same sponsors that Eric Almirola was running. So like, yeah, and he's got Mobil One. That's just a team sponsor. So like, that's your guy you're believing in. That's your Denny Hamlin replacement, more than likely. But these cars should be getting out way more than they are.
And Brent Cruz, he's only missed 4 races this year, and he's 11th in points right now. Like, this kid's gonna be the future here. Like, he hasn't gotten a win yet, but once he does, watch out, because I think this kid is definitely gonna be the future of Joe Gibbs Racing. If they play it smart, if they do put him in that 11 car at the end, like, when Denny retires, if he's still planning on doing it at the end of next year.
Yeah, what you don't want this year, if you're Joe Gibbs, is for Denny to win the champion. I mean, you want him to win the championship, but you don't want him to win the championship and then insist that he's done. And then you have a Daniel Suarez situation where you're like, oh shoot, we gotta force this guy in before he's ready. I mean, and that's kind of what happened with Daniel, and it's ironic that it's the same car number and everything. But Carl Edwards walked, and nobody was expecting it. And it kind of set Daniel Suarez on this strange career trajectory where he was kind of being developed as Toyota's next big thing, and now he's jumped around to 5 different race teams.
Now he's a top Chevy driver.
Exactly.
Who would have thought?
Well, I mean, Denny Hamlin's arguing that they're Joe Gibbs satellite team. So
yeah, I saw that this week. All right, and then let's talk about our big losers. Jesse Love had a rough race, getting a 16th place finish. So that dropped him down a spot into 3rd, with Carson Kvapil winning. That brings Carson up to 2nd. Sheldon Creed dropped down a spot. Corey Day dropped down a spot as well. And then Sammy Smith, 19th place finish. It's just been a rough go of it for Sammy Smith in this 8 car for these past few seasons.
Yeah, they're just not running up front.
They're
running close to the front, but they're not up front. But that's one of their cars that they're got him in there for the money, and he's fine. He's capable. He's just not as capable as some of these other guys.
Yeah, they got Junior Motorsports 1, 2, 3, 4 finish, and then where's Sammy Smith? All the way down the leaderboard. It's just all these cars are just so on point, except for this 8 car.
And we know it's hard to pass at Indy. We know it's a strategy race, but if all your other teams are clicking, where did you go wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Is it the driver? Is the team? What's got to change? But I guess why not?
Yeah, well, he's lucky he's got Pilot Flying J as a sponsor. he wouldn't be running right now. He's lucky he's from Iowa, because for some reason
He's,
that's the reason you get that as a sponsor.
I guess, yeah.
But I did see. Did you
He's
see?
the.
He's running the Michael Annette tribute car.
Mhm.
That's gonna be really
That's a
cool.
nice touch. It's a nice touch. Yeah, but he's the only one that finished worse than he started of the junior motorsports cars.
Yeah.
So not a great sign. Something went wrong with the strategy. Something went wrong with the driver. Who knows?
Yeah, just not a good run at all with this team this year. But let's move over to the Brickyard 400. And Tom, I gotta say, this is probably the worst race that I have ever been to. It was a snoozer. We didn't see any passing. This aero package sucks. This car
Oh,
sucks on this track. It was like I was trying to fight to not take a Scott Dixon nap, dude. It was a rough one, man.
I tell you, it wasn't much better on TV.
No, we had
Um,
we had a TV right in front of us too,
yeah,
and once they passed, once they gone through turn one, we're like, this still sucks.
yeah, and they're trying so hard on TV to talk about it, but like you can just see it with your own eyes. And if I can jump to the end, you could tell that the 67 was not in a good spot, and you could tell the 20 and the 22 were faster and were going to drive away if they could get around him, but they just couldn't get around him. And it was just it's hard to see because at one point you're like, yeah, it's cool that Corey Heim is going to go out there and he did all this on strategy and whatnot, but you don't want cars to obviously look faster and look more in control, and they just have to sit there because they can't build a run. Um, and it's and now you have this tug of war between like this is such a prestigious track and such a historic track. You want NASCAR to have the privilege to race on it, but then you have the other side of the balance dropping, being like, what's the point of racing here if there's no racing? If it's just a 160 lap parade, and it's tough. It's tough to balance. I still think we should race here. I still think it's a crown
Oh
jewel. I
yeah,
still think it's a worthy event to be called a crown jewel. But you want your best drivers to be able to come out here and execute and be able to pass drivers that are worse than them,
yeah.
at least on that day. And it's I mean, like Ryan Blaney getting wrecked out for the in season challenge, and then he's fighting back, and he's probably faster than Todd Gilliland, even in a wrecked Penske car. He's probably better than one of those front row cars. But just the arrow, he couldn't move,
Yeah.
could not move.
No man, I'm right there with you. Indy is one of my favorite tracks that I get to go to every year, just with how close it is to us, and I love the racing there. I mean, we saw with the O'Reilly race. That was an amazing race. We got to see some passing. I mean, the past few years, O'Reilly has kicked ass at this track. We
Yeah,
can have good racing here. It's just the Cup Series has a shit race car, and we see that at almost every track we go to now. This is a problem that we had with the Gen 6 car, the Arrow. It just, for some reason, it created a bubble, and you just cannot pass these cars when they have clean air. It's absolutely insane that we're just back to square one again.
and the underbody has almost made the Gen 6 car dirty air problem worse when they've tried to. They're saying it was going to be better and whatnot, but the underbody has these cars stuck to the racetrack too much, and then the car relies on the underbody arrow. And so if there's a car in front of it, suddenly there's no air going to the underbody for the car behind, and they, no matter what you do, you can't get close. And like, we're not aerodynamicists or whatnot, but like, we could see it.
Yeah.
I could see for the last 20 laps that the 20 was better than the 67. And the fact that like these guys are just hanging around in the back so they didn't have to put as much fuel in, so by the end of it they had to put less in at the end. Like that's just, it's not a great product, and it's hard to convince people to be like, yeah, watch this race, when you watch them run around in parade, and guys who pit come out and try to block their competitors because they know it's like, if I lose them more time here, then it's just going to be better for me later. And all the passing's done on pit road and under caution. It just doesn't make much sense to me.
Yeah.
But again, you still want the prestige of coming to Indianapolis and running the oval, because that is the race. That is the race. And you have to do it on the oval.
Yeah.
It's not as special to win on the road course. No offense to
No,
Michael McDowell.
not at all. But yeah, the Brickyard, it is a crown jewel race for NASCAR. It is the most historic racetrack in the entire world. It is over 100 years old with so much history, and I just hate that the track is getting so much shit for a terrible race car product. It's not fair, and we saw the race
Mhm.
on Saturday, and just with how good it was, and I really think there is a lot we can do. And Denny Hamlin even pointed out a lot of different things that they can fix with this car to make the racing better at just this track. So
I mean, I just remember Riley Herbst being able to drive right up under, I forget who it was, maybe Eric
Almirola,
Almirola,
yeah,
and get him loose from behind. And you couldn't even get that close. And even when you do, that's just not how the air works on the Cup cars. It's not the track's fault. It's not the driver's fault. This takes nothing away from the performance of the 67 team and their driver or their crew chief or their pit calls or anything. We don't want to take that away. They still had to show up and execute, and it's very difficult.
yeah,
But when the year prior, there's 8 green flag passes on the racetrack after a restart, one lap after a restart. So they're still close together on that second lap. There's 8 passes.
yeah.
So I mean, that can't be fun for the drivers. And the drivers aren't having fun or struggling to do anything. Then it's not fun for the fans to watch.
Yeah, it's just a big game of follow the leader at that point.
It's
But
difficult.
yeah, let's talk about our big winners though. Corey Heim, of course, he got his second Cup Series win. I mean, they did it off strategy, but regardless, this team has been fast all year. Every time this kid gets into the 67 car, he looks like a threat to win.
It's really incredible what he's doing. And I mean, if he doesn't spin out at Texas, if cautions fall the right way, this could be his 3rd win of the season. Um, yes, he has more preparation. I'm curious. I think there's a couple things working in Corey Heim's favor for these races. A, the prep. He and his team can prep longer for the race. B, Toyota is faster than the Fords and the Chevys right now. If Hendrick is having a better year, I don't think that Corey Heim's out here winning all these races and whatnot. There's just more people in the way. But then you have things working against him, like the qualifying metric, where he has to go out at all these races and qualify first. And that has not looked good. But he was able to turn a fast lap and qualify up front, so he didn't have to pass 1,000 cars on Sunday, and that's all working out for him. And again, his execution. Some of these guys come in, they're timid to be around the Cup guys. They don't want to ruin races. He is clearing himself across the bumper of Denny Hamlin with not much room to spare because he knows that he's got to win this race, and that's the move to win the race. Like he is fit for the Cup Series. He is ready for the Cup Series, and I think that's awesome to see. His attitude. He does not get bothered in the car, even when his car is handling like shit. Even when there's 15 more laps left in the race. I don't know if they played his radio on the and there's 20 laps to go or 23 laps to go or something, and he gets on the radio. He's like, "Tell me how many laps are left," and they're like 22, and there's just this like awkward silence because like he wasn't sure he's going to be able to hang on for 22 laps, but
Yeah,
he did it. And a lot of times that car was coming off too. They had the camera sitting right on the wall, and you could see the back end wanting to give out. So incredible effort by Corey Heim. But I'm curious to see what it looks like next year when he's doing this for 38 weeks and to see if this can translate. A lot of people are saying put him in the chase. Put him in the chase next year. I don't know. With the year that Connor Zilic is having, I'm not going to be convinced until I'm 10, 15 races into the season.
yeah, we'll definitely see. But like you said, Heim is not getting distracted on the track, even with the little spat that he had with Carson Hocevar there. Hocevar telling him that he's number one. Corey Heim didn't even pay attention. He was focused on the commitment line going down pit road there. But I just love it even years later that this rivalry is living on from that championship race at Phoenix.
I've heard too many people talk about this, but there was some things said in the pre-race and post-race interviews and whatnot. And Corey Himes, like there's and some other post-race shows, like Eric Estep said, like Hocevar got the viral moment, Heim got the trophy. And I think they're both winners in that aspect because Hocevar has built so much popularity and so much clout with the fans. I'm sure he's swimming in the t-shirt money and the diecast money and the royalties. And I'm sure Spire Motorsports love that. Sure, Spire would love to win more races and whatnot. And they're getting there. They've got speed. Whether or not they got it legally, we'll find out in court. But I think right now, Hocevar is building up that brand, and it will pay off when he starts winning. So yeah, maybe he is concerned about selling t-shirts. But if that's their goal this season, that's what they're going to do. But guess what? He's selling t-shirts and he's the top Chevy in the points right now.
Yeah.
I don't think even if the gay part rumors are true with the so-called sign stealing and the setup sheet stealing and whatnot, I don't think that Spire expected to be here right now. And Hendrick is struggling, which is something else we could talk about. But Heim versus Hocevar is interesting in way more ways than one. Knowing their history already, knowing they both say they don't like each other. But I don't think Hocevar's out there trying to win like Heim is. They're in different spots, going for different goals right now. And it's fascinating to see how they're just coming to an intersection point. More than that. Hocevar's concerned about selling t-shirts right now.
It's fun watching their dynamic clash together, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so yeah, congrats Corey Heim there. And then how about Joey Logano? He's getting hot at the right time. He has been looking pretty good these past few weeks, and he gets a third place finish here at Indy, moving up 2 spots in the standings right now, sitting 13th. Bubba Wallace and SVG have dropped down a spot, so welcome to the chase, Joey Logano, with only a few races left. How do you like the sound of that, Tom?
Can we chill with Joey Logano? I think when he won North Wilkesboro, TV had the idea that this was winning you're in again. They're like, look out, here he comes. Guys, he has struggled all year. He's 341 points back. So we're going to hit a couple tracks that Penske runs better at. Yeah, sure. He's going to figure out how to be there at the end of these races. That's kind of been Joey Logano's MO. But he does not have the speed. 5 tracks in the chase are intermediate tracks. A Toyota is going to win this championship. We don't know which one, but a Toyota is going to win. And I don't understand all the glazing of Joey Logano because he strung together a few good finishes. Again, on this track where they knew they had to just use strategy to get past. They knew if he got up to the front, he was going to finish near the front on that last pit stop. It's so weird how the conversation has shifted almost instantly from Joey Logano. Like, oh, look at him. He's down in 20th in points. He's struggling. Is he done? Whatnot. He suddenly wins a race. And yes, he dominated Wilkesboro. I'll give him that. Great. Good job. You still dug yourself a 341 point hole.
It's a 300.
If this is the Penske of old, if this is the Penske of old, he should be up there in the top 6 right now. Yeah. You're telling me that's a 3-time champ. He backed into all 3 of his championships. All of them. I mean, the last one, he won a race on a 5 overtimes and then backed into the Atlanta win and then just happened to be there at the end for Phoenix because they only focused on Phoenix.
Yeah.
I don't know why people are all of a sudden like, he's going to win the championship. Don't never count Joey Logano. What do you mean never count him out? He's 350 points behind. Give me a break.
I mean, I don't hide it. I am not the biggest Joey Logano fan, but right now he is on the hot streak with winning in North Wilkesboro, getting a 3rd place at Indy. We're going to Iowa where we have seen Penske run really good here. Joey, this is his kind of track here. We've seen him be really good at Richmond, really good at New Hampshire, and Daytona. We know that Joey Logano is always there at these plate races. I don't know. I think this might be working out well for him, and if you think about that, he does so well. That 340-point gap, whatever he has, it comes crashing down once the chase starts. And then who knows what Joey Logano could do from here on out, but he is getting hot at the right time. And I mean, there is a lot of tracks that are coming up until the end of the season that Joey is pretty good at. I'm not saying he's going to win the championship. I'm saying he could give these boys a run for their money and just kind of pull a 2011 Tony Stewart right here.
What is the first race of the Chase?
First race at Chase is Darlington.
Joey Logano was out to lunch at Darlington. Is Penske just gonna turn that around? So he ran 33rd, earned 4 points at Darlington earlier in the spring. Is he gonna turn that around and suddenly get a top 10, top 5? I don't think so. Then he could do well at WTT, Bristol, who knows? Then Kansas, Vegas, Charlotte. Those are all Toyota. Like I don't see it. Even to close out the season. Okay, Iowa and Richmond, New Hampshire, maybe you expect top 5s. Who knows where he ends up at Daytona? I don't think that vaults him up to the top 6 in points. It's close. From I don't know, it's like 10th to 16th is less than 100 points. So like yeah, he could jump up there to 7th or 8th maybe, but they got to execute perfectly, and I just think they've dug themselves way too much of a hole early on in the season.
No, they really did. But I mean,
Frankly, I'm surprised that Blaney, talk about somebody running quietly, he doesn't seem to be anywhere near the front at these races, and for him to be sitting 3rd in points is mind-blowing to me. He's just quietly gonna top 10 you to death, I guess.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, it seems like Penske has just kind of come to life a little bit starting here in the summer. They're kind of getting sick of the whole Toyota show. So, I mean, we'll see how it goes throughout the rest of the season because we thought it was going to be super Toyota heavy with the finishers at Indianapolis, and then we saw Ford in the top 3, which we did not think was going to be possible at all.
Yeah, and Ryan Preece
He
shit
got
the
a
bed
top
with
10.
their strategy.
Yeah, but he didn't
I
he
mean,
get a top
they
10?
needed well, they were saying on TV. I'm not sure if you caught this either. He came into the pits like 4th on that final caution, and he needed the least amount of fuel out of anybody, and they took 4 tires. So
Oh,
he came out. They could have come out 2nd or 3rd, and they came out 6th or 7th. So like they shit the bed on strategy. But Brad Keselowski 6th, Josh Berry 7th, Ryan
yeah.
Preece 8th, Chris Buescher 11th. Like Ford showed up to play. Suddenly they picked the right strategy here. But again, 4 of the top 5 is Toyota, which we expected. Maybe not the ones we expected to be up there. Bubba struggled all day. Bubba never got up to the front. Finished
Yeah,
28th.
that was a surprising one for me,
Big
just with
surprise.
how good he looked. I mean, in practice and even in the race last year. I mean, he was the Brickyard 400 winner. But Chase
Yeah.
Briscoe, I mean, we know Chase Briscoe had a rough start to the season, and he's been kind of on the up and up. We saw him win at Chicagoland Speedway. Got a good finish here. Got 5th at Indy, and so he's 7th right now in the points. So he's putting himself into a good spot before the start of the chase here.
For sure. I think Chase Briscoe is again kind of peaking in this late summer part of the season, and the way the schedule's lining up with all these intermediate tracks for the chase, I think Chase Briscoe could be a real contender.
Yeah,
I don't see how Ford climbs higher than they are in the standings with how the season will finish, and where we've seen that maybe they've changed their setups enough to figure it out. I think with the way the regular season finishes, I could definitely see Logano making some noise and climbing that ladder a little bit more. But when the
hmm
chase gets here, I don't see how they don't just fall back into their old ways with how that schedule works out.
yeah.
I don't, and you can clip my whole Joey Logano rant. You can laugh at me all you want later when it goes wrong and he pulls a Tony Stewart style chase and wins the championship, and then maybe I don't know. I can't I can't take Kyle Busch dying and a Joey Logano championship
Oh
talk
shit, dude.
in the same year. It would devastate me.
That would put a dagger in yours and Dalton's heart.
Oh,
Oh
I
no.
can't. I don't even want to. I'm sorry I even said that
Oh
because
yeah.
it's not going to happen. It's not going to even year Logano. It pisses me off so much. Like he hasn't done anything all season, and he's gonna. It starts at Darlington, where he laid an egg in the beginning of the season. What's going to change? What's going to change?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they got a lot of time to figure it out, but
Yeah.
yeah,
And then
he's on a good run. He's on a
it
good run.
is.
I could say that. And with how tight the points are from, I don't know, 6th to 16th, it's pretty damn tight. I mean, Carson Hocevar jumped 2 spots in the standings. He passed Chase and he passed Kyle Larson.
Yeah, well, I mean,
So,
Chase Elliott and Larson, they both had a rough day at Indy too. They both dealt with blown
mhm.
tires. Chase was in the garage for a while, came back out. Larson, he was done for the day with the damage that he had.
Larson last place, 1 point.
Yeah,
Chase Elliott 37th, 1 point. Really tough.
yeah, that
Really
is
tough day for those guys. That is not the type. Talking about Joey Logano having a good stretch, this is the opposite. I think Hendrick hasn't had a top 10 for any of their drivers in the last 3 races, which is like the first time since they had that young lineup of Bowman and Elliott and Byron when they were like fresh
right.
into the series. So like 2019, 2020 or something, they haven't done something like that. Somebody who's interestingly struggling, if we're on Hendrick now, is William Byron. I think with like the season he was having last year, um, and everything, he was running up front, winning all those races last year, and just consistent. It's just Hendrick in itself is having an off year, and I think we can see it in William Byron. He's just not able to make any noise.
Yeah, he's been struggling. Wonder if maybe he could be on the chopping block too, and maybe they could make room for Corey Day and Connor Zilic.
I haven't heard any of that, but
Yeah,
again, where do you go after Hendrick? What is as good as Hendrick?
yeah. I mean, it's the top echelon of all racing right now.
Mm-hmm. Very, very interesting.
And then Connor Zilic, another horrible day. Welcome to Torture City, my friend. Getting damage from the big Blaney wreck that was up in turn 3. So, man, Connor Zilic, like, he needs to do something. We need to ask like a witch doctor to help us.
Because, like, what can you do? I mean, where
34th in points.
Yeah. I'm curious. He's hosting Actions Detrimental this week in the off week.
Oh, is he?
I'm curious to see what he had. But like, does this show like by race history? Yes. It's like I'm just trying to remind myself what happened. I mean, at North Wilkesboro, he has the contact with Larson on pit road. That's not really his fault. Echo Park Speedway gets chucked in a crash. Chicagoland, lap 1. They stack up on the outside, and he just spins trying to avoid contact.
Yep.
Gets cleaned out at Naval Base Coronado when he was supposed to have a good finish. Michigan out to lunch, not great. Like, Michigan was probably his fault, but like Trackhouse in itself is just having a terrible year.
7th at Sonoma.
Hey,
how about those fireworks? All right.
Fireworks show at Sonoma. It's just, I think it is just symbolic, A, of where Trackhouse is as a team this year, and B, how hard it is to be a rookie. I mean, the picture, like, you get a new job and you go in and everybody's been doing the job for like 5 years and they expect you to perform. And you were really good at your last job. You had a lot of success, but now you're in the big leagues, dog. And I think we all expected it to be a bit easier for him, but I don't think we expected it to go this poorly. And that's pretty devastating for him. So, and you wonder, there is that prospect of going to Hendrick in a year. But does this season get better? Is there a caveat saying like, hey, we're going to go with Corey Day if you don't perform or pick up your performance? He could be racing for a job.
Yeah, no doubt.
And they say Ross Chastain is the bellwether of Trackhouse. He's not getting speed out of his car. Shane Van Gisbergen.
Yeah, SVG has been the man. I mean, look at what he's been doing at ovals. I mean, just this past month, he's been looking like a pro.
Finishing. If you would have asked me at North Wilkesboro what the top finishing Chevy would be, hell, I would not have said Shane Van Gisbergen.
Dude, if you would have told me he was leading laps, he didn't even know. He was like, "What the fuck am I doing?"
Yeah, leading a significant amount of laps. He led over 100 laps, I think, at North Wilkesboro, and But like, especially with that race, all those cars finishing a lap down. There's 6 cars on the lead lap. Shane was one of them. That's not nothing.
Yeah.
He showed up, and he was in the truck race a couple weeks ago, and was the top finishing truck. I think, was that North Wilkesboro's? Yeah, it was.
Mm-hmm.
North Wilkesboro, top finishing Cup Series driver in the truck race. Like, what this guy's doing is very impressive. And if Ross is the bellwether, Shane is exceeding expectations.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit unfair to compare that because you expect Shane to have a couple race wins at those road courses. Maybe do we expect Ross to have a couple cup wins on the ovals? Not with the Trackhouse cars this year. The fact that that Shane is able to get what he can out of these cars at those road courses and get those wins is a miracle. And the fact that who's going to jump up and knock Shane out of the points? There's a gap between 16th and 17th that's like 40 points.
Yeah.
Ryan Preece isn't going to have a 40-point day and jump. Eric Jones potentially could have a 40-point day.
But from what I've seen, SVG, he's been kind of been able to outrun those guys on these kinds of tracks.
For sure. I mean, Shane 16th at Indy. He did what he needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Brad Keselowski, who's down there in 19th below the cut line, yeah, he had a 30-point day, but Shane had a 20-point day. So he's covering that.
Mm-hmm.
And over the next few races, Iowa, Richmond, New Hampshire, Shane has shown that he's going to work well at these short tracks and figure it out. Daytona, I mean, Shane was leading at Talladega this year. So, like, I think Shane is going to sneak his way into the chase, and that's significant. That's amazing. That's why he's at Trackhouse. That's why they moved him to America. That's why he is racing in the Cup Series, because he's going to get results.
I did not see him possibly making the chase this year, but it just makes me so happy. It's just how fast he's been able to get adjusted into the Cup Series. It's just been nothing but phenomenal.
Especially after what happened at Coronado. You're like, well, there he goes. That's his chase hopes gone.
Yep.
And he's out here putting it to these guys. Like he's
making up for it.
What he needs to do. And that's fantastic. I mean, these finishes lately are great. 6th at Echo Park, 5th at North Wilkesboro. Couple of bad races before that, but I mean, 5th at Nashville, 11th at Charlotte. Like that's what you got to do at those circle tracks. 11th at Martinsville earlier, 14th at Darlington. With the tracks that are left, you're telling me that Joey Logano is going to show. I'm back on Joey Logano because I'm still thinking about it. I mean, Shane finished 14th at Darlington. Logano finished 33rd. Shane's going to beat Logano in points.
Oh, yeah. That'd be cool.
At the end of the season. That'd be awesome. I'd be all for that.
Yeah, no doubt. Kiwi. Yeah, get kiwied. All right, and then we got the off weekend with NASCAR. No on-track activity whatsoever, so we don't have any picks to make this week, but we will be getting back for next week. That's for damn sure. We will be with you guys weekly once again. We got everything figured out now. Everything's back to normal.
Oh yeah. Some changes have happened, but we got stuff figured out, and it'll be good to go. I've been logging all the race finishes. I have not added any into the system in a while, so I don't know where the points are. Nick's still making picks as well. Nick's, I think, beating our butts.
As he usually does.
But you've won quite a few of the last couple weeks, so I think you're trying to make a comeback here late in the season. We do a full season points.
That's right. No playoffs, no chase.
Call us the Winstons. No, we're seeing who can make race picks all the way to the end. So we'll get the points updated for next week, and we'll see where we are headed to the ending half of the season, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, all right, everybody. Thanks for tuning into the Stock Car Spectacle. Thanks for letting us rant for a while we got to kind of catch up on things from the past few weeks. But, man, it was needed.
Oh, for sure. Time off, but it's always good to be back. Always good to talk racing with you, buddy.
Absolutely, man. Love it. Well, guys, if you haven't yet, make sure to like our video and subscribe to our channel and comment down below what your plans are for the NASCAR off weekend. And we'll see you guys next week. Have a good one. So for the Stock Car Spectacle, I'm Ian Jortson.
I'm Tom Hoblin.
We'll see you guys next time.